What does it actually take to live to 100? And not just survive, but thrive. To be sharp, active, and engaged at a century of life? Researchers have spent decades studying the world's longest-lived populations. The blue zones, regions where reaching 100 in good health is not exceptional, but common. They've found that longevity is not primarily about genetics. Genes account for only about 20 to 25% of how long you live. The other 75 to 80% is lifestyle. Today we're going through the daily habits that the world's longest-lived people share, distilled from decades of research on Sardinia, Okinawa, Loma Linda in California, Nicoya in Costa Rica, and Icaria in Greece. Centenarians in blue zones are not typically gym-goers. They don't have formal exercise programs. What they do is move constantly as a natural part of their daily lives. They tend gardens, walk to visit neighbors, cook from scratch, knead bread, tend animals, and move through their homes and communities without modern labor-saving shortcuts. This continuous low-level physical activity, sustained throughout the day, accumulates to far more movement than most Westerners get from an hour at the gym, followed by 8 hours of sitting. The lesson is not that exercise is irrelevant, it's clearly beneficial. The lesson is that movement should be woven through the entire day, not confined to a scheduled workout. Stand rather than sit. Walk rather than drive short distances. Take the stairs. Garden. Walk to talk to a neighbor instead of calling. Research consistently shows that breaking up sedentary time, even with short, frequent movement breaks, significantly benefits cardiovascular health, blood sugar, and metabolic markers. The diets of blue zone centenarians are remarkably consistent despite being culturally diverse. Approximately 95% of their diet is plant-based: vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Meat is eaten occasionally, a few times per month as a celebratory food rather than daily. Legumes are a particularly consistent feature. Black beans in Nicoya, lentils in Icaria, tofu and soy in Okinawa, fava beans in Sardinia. They appear at almost every meal. Multiple studies confirm that regular legume consumption is one of the strongest dietary predictors of longevity. Okinawans practice a cultural tradition called hara hachaibu, eating until 80% full rather than 100%. This naturally limits caloric intake without formal restriction and prevents the chronic overeating that leads to metabolic disease. They drink wine moderately. The Sardinians in particular drink a specific local red wine called Cannonau, which is particularly high in flavonoids. This is 1 to 2 glasses with friends and a meal, not more. Okinawans have a concept called ikigai, a reason to get up in the morning. Costa Ricans in Nicoya call it plan de vida, a life plan. The words are different, but the concept is the same: a clear sense that your life has meaning and purpose. Researchers studying blue zones found that having a strong sense of purpose added up to 7 years to life expectancy. Purpose reduces cortisol, lowers inflammation, promotes better sleep, and motivates health protective behaviors. Purpose can come from many sources: family responsibilities, creative work, community involvement, spiritual practice, mentoring younger people, or continued learning. Adventists in Loma Linda observe the Sabbath, 24 hours of rest and family time. Sardinians and Nicoyan men have an afternoon nap. The power nap has genuine cardiovascular benefits in this population. Icarian Greeks socialize and slow down consistently. The biology is clear. Chronic unmanaged stress chronically elevates cortisol, which accelerates cellular aging, promotes inflammation, and damages the cardiovascular system. Regular, built-in stress relief counteracts this. Your version might be daily meditation, a morning walk in nature, regular prayer, an afternoon cup of tea with a friend, a genuine day of rest each week. What matters is that it's consistent and that it genuinely switches off the stress response. Loneliness is associated with a 26% increase in mortality risk, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Social connection is not a lifestyle luxury, it is a biological necessity. In every blue zone, the longest-lived people are deeply embedded in strong social networks. Family is central. They tend to live near family members or with them. Elderly relatives are cared for within families rather than institutionalized, which benefits both the elders and the younger family members around them. They also belong to communities, whether faith-based, civic, or neighborhood, that provide belonging, purpose, mutual support, and regular in-person connection. The Okinawan concept of moe refers to a committed group of friends who support each other through life, financially, emotionally, and socially. Studies show that the social networks of Okinawan women have powerful health protective effects. Building and maintaining genuine social connections, community, friendship, family engagement is as important to longevity as any dietary choice. None of these habits are complicated. None require expensive equipment or supplements. The daily habits of the world's longest-lived people can be summarized in a few lines. Move naturally throughout the day, eat mostly plants in modest portions, have a clear reason to get up each morning, build regular rest and stress relief into your routine, and stay embedded in strong family and community connections. The remarkable thing is not how exotic these habits are, it's how ordinary and accessible they are. They require not more money or technology, but more intentionality about the fundamentals. You don't have to be in a blue zone to live like one. See you in the next video.